As you can see by the bunches of bottles in front of me, it's been way too long since I've done a recycle review. So I'm going to take a few minutes and go through each one, tell you what's good and what's bad about that, and if I'd buy it again. Let's do this. Welcome to Whisky Riffs. If you're new here, I'm Kevin, and thank you for stopping by. I have a special episode today. I'm going to try to rapid fire through 12 bottles that I've gone through recently, well, not recently, over the past several weeks and couple months, and give you a little bit about each one and whether I would buy them again or not. So let's not waste any time. Let me grab the first bottle. First bottle on my list is the Ardbeg 10. Now this is one of my favorites. You've heard it before. I'm an Ardbeg fan. It's got that campfire, that smoke, that peatiness. It is non-chill filtered. It is 46% ABV. Really nice. They do add a little bit of caramel coloring to it, but that doesn't change the flavor. So I'm good with that, and I really like the Ardbeg 10. Ooh, and there was a little bit in there. That was pretty tasty. On the next one. Another one of my favorites, the Port Charlotte Heavily Peated Islay Single Malt 10-year. Now this is a really nice whiskey because it has a peatiness to it. It's 50% ABV. There's no chill filtering. And Bruichladdich, who's maker of Port Charlotte, Bruichladdich, and the Octomore series, does not put coloring in their whiskeys, so this is a great experience for that as well. A much different peat note, a much different smoke note than the Ardbeg, not as much campfire, more salt, sea salt, and kind of a softness, kind of a softness to the smoke. There's nothing in here. The corks on the Port Charlottes aren't always the best. Next bottle. All right, this is a new one for me in 2021, and I really enjoyed it. This is the Port Charlotte Heavily Peated OLC 01. It's a 2010 release, and it is aged 9 years in oak casks. It's a beautiful experience. It's 55.1% ABV. This is a special edition. It's not as easy to get as the Port Charlotte Heavily Peated 10. So if you're looking for a whiskey that is similar to this, you can try the 10. But if you can get your hands on the OLC 01, really beautiful dram. And I have reviews for all of these, which I'll put down in the description for you. Again, bad cork, not going to get anything out of this bottle. But I really loved the OLC 01. In fact, I loved it so much that I drank this one only because I knew I had a backup. Otherwise, I would have cherished this a little bit longer. It's a beautiful dram. Next one up is the Highland Park Valkyrie. It's 45.9% ABV. It's a single malt Scotch whiskey, and it's not one of my favorites. I don't know why the Valkyrie didn't hit me right. I think maybe it's because it's non-age statement and the ABV is just a little bit low, and it seemed like it was more of a pandering to a concept more than it was a actual flavor profile that they were shooting for. I don't know. I expected more from Highland Park than this. It's been a while since I've had it, but I don't think I'd buy this one again. I'd certainly buy the other ones again. As you've seen, I've already bought more of those. Yeah, disappointed in this one, but if you've tried it and you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments what you think of the Valkyrie. Next bottle. Glenfarclas 105 cask strength. Now this is a really nice expression from Glenfarclas because it gives you a little extra kick. It gives you that lovely Highland single malt flavor profile, but 60% ABV, which is really impressive, which means there's not going to be any chill filtering. I'm not sure if they add color to theirs. It'd be nice if they said that on the bottle, and no, they don't. Oh well. Anyway, I love Glenfarclas. I think they give you a lot of bang for your buck. They're a great Highland distillery. You're not going to get that hit with a peat or anything like that. It's the lovely vanilla and sweet fruits and just that nice oak spice to it. These bottles have been around so long, I don't think any of them are going to have anything left in them. Would I buy the 105 again? Probably. It depends. I really like the other Glenfarclas expressions too, and I've been buying a lot of those, but it's always on my list if I get a good price on it. All right. what's next? This is a cute little bottle. This is one of the free ones that I got from Flavier. It's an American single malt whiskey, and I like what Westward's doing. They're experimenting, they're doing some nice things. This is only 45% ABV. I wish it was a little bit higher. I don't know if I loved it, but I did like it. It's a product of Oregon, and I don't have to buy it again right now because I still have a couple extra free bottles from Flavier. Thank you for those people who have signed up to my link in the description. Yeah, it's got all the features of a single malt. I think I would just like to see maybe a little more time in a barrel and maybe a little higher ABV, and I think it would be a spectacular bottle. If you've tried any of the Westward whiskeys, I'd love to hear about those in the comments too. All right, next one. Ooh, so this is interesting. This is Compass Box, the Spice Tree, and it's at 46% ABV. It's a blended Scotch malt whiskey, which means that it does have only barley in it, the expressions that they put in here. But because it's a blend, it's not coming from one distillery. And Compass Box does a fantastic job with their blending. If you can get your hands on the Spice Tree, which shouldn't be too hard, I would definitely recommend it. I think that they take a lot of care in their flavor profiles, and this one just has some beautiful notes to it. It's been a long time. I did have someone in the comments ask me if I ever tried the Spice Tree. I said, yes, I did, and now I got to see if my bottle still has anything left in it, and it doesn't. There's just a drop. Literally, just a drop. Oh, yeah, I gotta get another bottle of this. This is something that I really like to have around. It's one of those go-to whiskeys that just has rich, round, beautiful flavors to it. Love it. If you've had experience with the Spice Tree, let me know about that too. Why don't we head down to Texas? How about that? Balcones, Texas Single Malt Whiskey. This is a pretty special bottle. I really like what Balcones is doing. I think that the single malt is a good expression, especially since it's at 53% ABV, which means no chill filtering is going into this. And they don't say much else about it. Let's see. All right, so it is young. It's been distilled in January of 2017 and bottled in June of 2019. So we got about 2.5 years in there, doing my math right. It's a French oak barrel, which is unique, and that's something that Balcones does really well. They're experimental. They keep trying new things, and they put right on the bottle, never chill filtered or colored. Beautiful, at least 24 months in oak. You know, this is Texas. So when you're doing a single malt in Texas, putting it into a bottle for 10 years is gonna make it really dark. But if you, that was weak. There ain't nothing in here. I'd like to know your thoughts about Balcones because it's becoming one of my favorite distilleries, and I'd really like to hear your feedback on the expressions you've had from them. Let's move on. From Texas to Ireland, we're up with Green Spot. Single pot still Irish whiskey, triple distilled. I love Green Spot. It's only 80 proof, which is a shame. I think it would be better a little bit higher, but because it's an Irish whiskey, they can get away with it a bit. The pot still really brings out the flavor. There's some really nice notes in here. Initially, when I nose this whiskey, I always get apple. I know right away it's Green Spot, and I'm just a fan of it. Even at 40%, I buy bottles all the time when I'm out of the Green Spot. I like the Yellow Spot too, but it's not as affordable or accessible. So this is one of my go-to whiskeys, and I try to keep it around all the time. And like I said, I don't mind the low ABV if you're gonna fill the bottle with a lot of flavor from your triple distill pot stills. One of my favorites. Next bottle. Too many bottles. All right, what do we got now? Let's do this one. This is beautiful. This I miss. I will never get it back again. It's a shame. It's a Deanston 2008 9-year-old whiskey, and it has a Bordeaux red wine cask matured finish to it. It's at 58.7% ABV. lovely. Deanston is a great distillery. I love what they do. Any Deanston I can get that has any kind of casking that is unique, I jump at it. Let me know if you've had any Deanstons. There's nothing in here. I wish there was something in here. It's been too long. Yeah, I'd buy it again. If I could find this specific expression, I would buy that in a heartbeat. And I'll be looking out for any other Deanstons that are of this kind of class. Great distillery. Maker's Mark. This is a bourbon. I don't have a lot of bourbons in this list, but this is one of them. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon, barrel finished with 10 selected oak staves. So this is a Maker's Mark expression that was specially made. They have a lot of different stave profiles. This one was for Total Wine in California, and their stave profile is very unique. 55% ABV, 110 proof, and I would recommend any of the Maker's Mark whiskeys. I think they're an easy drinking bourbon, and the ones that are the stave profile ones, the exclusives, they're always kind of interesting because they take the flavors of Maker's Mark and they just boost them way up. Have you had any of the special stave series? Which ones have you had? In the comments, let me know. I think I have some more in here. Whew! Even with a little dribble left, you can tell that's a high proof whiskey. A lot of good flavors in there. A lot of cherry notes, and then, which is kind of basic for Maker's Mark, you always get that cherry and that sweetness. And then they just add on top of it with all the different staves that are involved in this maturation process. Last one. Good, because that bag is really full. Good one to end on. This is one of my lovely favorites that I will always buy and always do buy. It is the Aberlour Abuna. It's a Speyside single malt Scotch, and it is a sherry bomb. This is a cask strength whiskey that's bottled at 61.2% ABV, and this is actually batch number 069. I haven't found too much different in the various batches, but I think that the Abuna, every bottle I've had has been fantastic. I always will buy another one. I'm thrilled with this whiskey, and I'm thrilled that there's a little dribble left. Let's see what we can get out here. Whew. Okay, that was more than a drop, and I'm thrilled because I get to end this video on one of my favorites, one of my favorite sherry cask whiskeys. If you have not had the Abuna and you're a fan of sherry bombs, this is an experience. Go out and grab yourself a bottle of Aberlour Abuna. It shouldn't be too expensive, and it should be pretty accessible. They have good distribution everywhere. Well, that's all my recycled bottles. I need to grab a bottle that I can actually sign off with that has some real whiskey in it. Hang on. Let's use this one, which I just drank in the previous episode. If you haven't seen that, link below in the description. This is a lovely distillery exclusive from Aberlour, and it's a 13-year-old. Thank you for watching this recycle review. If you have any thoughts on it, please leave them in the comments below. I love to have conversations about things with you, especially whiskey. And until the next episode, take care of yourself. Take care of those people around you, and cheers. Oh, it's nice to have a full taste of whiskey instead of a dribble. It's a single malt Scotch. It's a We're up with Green Spot, single malt.